Hello, I'm Dr. Tom, and I'd like to welcome you to this Friday's update. And I will tell you what an incredible week it has been once again. I want to make a couple of announcements before we get into the lesson for today. First of all, to remind you that we have an upcoming regional conference in the world of Paris on actually March the 20th to the 22nd. I'm telling you, this will be a spectacular event. We have Catherine Rossi's going to be there. Lee is going to be there. Stefan is going to be there. Ali and John Luke and Ediane and Chloe. This is an incredible lineup. A Friday, Saturday, Sunday, an evening party on a riverboat on the Seine. I'm telling you, I have done those cruises. They are spectacular. You will remember them forever. Seeing the architecture, Paris lit up at night, it is a wonderful, wonderful time, and you will build relationships with people that will last throughout your lifetime. So I highly encourage you to get to these events. I will tell you also that we have the Successful Life course coming up the very end of April 28th to May 1st, I believe, in St. Augustine, Florida. Tom and Emily Ward and Earlene Vining, spectacular upcoming event as well. Also, we have an announcement for Germany, for Celle, May 1st through the 3rd with Peter and Claudia. So things are happening, events are taking place, gatherings are occurring where people are building their confidence and building their energy ball and building their personal magnetism throughout the Jinn world. So we're very, very happy about that. If you were able to listen to the Member Development Series last week with Brian Dodge, spectacular information. Again, part 2 of that will be released this weekend for you to get the second half of the lecture that was delivered, the life-changing lecture that was delivered in Cabo. So those are just some things that we have coming. We have some other great announcements that we're going to be releasing over time, some enhanced member benefits, if you will. Some things that you don't know about yet because we haven't released them, because we're preparing them to have them ready so that when we say we're going to do something, it absolutely happens. So look forward to upcoming announcements about enhancements that are coming your way for the membership. I will tell you, I mentioned last week a talk about, and I mentioned this in Cabo as well, about action versus reaction. You see, action, when we talk about action, we're talking about, we make different references to it in throughout the Success Mastery course, about massive and immediate action, about having, in order, before you get into taking massive and immediate action, you must also have a magnificent obsession, and you must have a laser-like focus, and you must have a burning desire. In other words, you need to get focused on what it is that you're going to take action on, or you're just going off in all the different directions. We've all known people like this. They seem to be going a million miles an hour, but at the end of a month, or 6 months, or a year, or a decade, have they really accomplished anything? Is it confusing activity with accomplishment? Are they just always busy doing something that never amounts to anything? These are questions you need to ask yourself, and you need to evaluate yourself. Look in the mirror. Be honest with yourself. Reevaluate who you are. Do this from time to time. It's why when we talk about the sweet spots and excuse me, and chief aims and all the different topics that we reference in Jinn are brought about for a reason. They have different timelines on them. There are different amounts of focus that you put to them and different amounts of energy that you put toward them. And so I wanted to remind you of a statement that I made last week. And it was the statement about there's no power, there's no magnetic power in the complaining mind. You see, so what we want to do, it's by faith that you demand things in your life. It's by faith that we demand things to come into our life, into our energy field, into our energy being. And it is by action that we create the channels for the response to that demand. You see, it's by action. It is by those action steps that we actually change our course. We actually allow for more things to come into our field. We allow for more things to enter into our life, allow for more people, more circumstance, more situations, more opportunities. You see, so often these opportunities are there for you. They knock regularly, and we're too busy. We're too busy. We're too focused on something to pay attention to everything. Listen. Learn to listen. we've talked about the power and the pause in the upper levels of this training. The pause, allowing things to come to you. You see it in professional athletes where they say the game all of a sudden just slows down. The game is the same speed. It just appears slower because people allow themselves to listen, to observe. They see things before they actually are available or are visible to the naked eye. We talk about your eyes deceiving you. You see, when we talk about action, when we talk about taking these steps, I was reminded about the very ending of the book that I've been referencing over the last multiple weeks, The Power for Success. And I wanted to close today in passing along a couple of thoughts for you directly again from this author. Remember, this is the early 20s. This is 100 years ago this was written. This information is so spot on. And it unveils some of the seeds that have been planted in each of us throughout the Success Mastery course. I want to talk about just the very end of this book today, because it says we may summarize all of the suggestions in the words of a scientific writer that says life is not a bully who swaggers out into the open universe, upsetting the laws of energy in all directions, but rather a consummate strategist who, sitting in his secret chamber over his wires, directs the movements of a great army. You see, over those electrical wires we've been talking about how the body is wired and how nerves and how we get electron particles to begin to move. And we know so much more about it currently than we did 100 years ago, yet the concepts were here. The concepts were stated 100 years ago in this text. This is a good description of magnetism. The success magnetism assumption. We are now ready for the great assumption principle of magnetism in applied life. You see, this is just theory until you apply it to your life, until you make it a part of you, until you take action. You see, because if we don't take action, we spend our life in a form of reaction, where we just wait for everything to unfold and then we have to react to it. You find yourself constantly putting out fires rather than moving forward with your plan. You're playing defense instead of offense. You're reacting. You have a reaction instead of action. Take the action steps. It says, we're now ready for the great assumption principle of magnetism in applied life. Think of every goal as already reached. This is the as-if principle. Think of every goal as if already reached, of every undertaking as already achieved. You see, picture it as if, see it as if. When you do that, when you can focus on it in your mind's eye and then take actions moving you in that direction, those rewards are yours, whatever they are for you. Whether that's a health situation, whether it's a relationship, whether it's finance, whether it's spirituality, whatever your goals and dreams and desires are, they're all there for you. Picture it as if. So closes this book. The subject before us has been vast and profound. It is unnecessary to confess that the field has by no means been exhausted. There's more to learn. At every step of study, its immensity is discovered. Even when the general arena of success in life has been closed out of consideration, as in these pages, success magnetism defies any single mind to fathom it or to bound it. It's just another way of saying it's not only bigger than we think, it's bigger than we can think individually. With this feeling, yet with the confident belief that you are more completely furnished for magnetic achievement because you have read, studied, absorbed, and practiced the teachings now closed, the author bids you all good speed in life and signs himself yours for real success, a brother cooperative. Yours for real success. That's what this is about. That's what this power is about. That's the beauty of the Success Mastery course. It's what allows us to come together. It even references it's greater than the single mind, yet we can become a mastermind. We have become a mastermind. Collectively, we are greater than any of us can be individually. That is the power of the club called the Global Information Network. Work on your personal magnetism every day. Just do a little something. Just do a little something, and success will surely be yours. I'm Dr. Tom. Until next week, have a spectacular week.